Um, a lot of folks that we've spoken to since the arrival of the pandemic, which is still going, of course, um,
Yeah.
we had a lot of rush to work from home, and that really put a
Yes.
lot of strain on people's security budgets, or not a strain, but it made them really ramp it up and have to figure out how to deal with all these devices in different parts of the world. Did you experience that? And when did your organization kind of go through that same sort of hiccup when the pandemic hit, and what was the effect on your security budget?
I would say kind of minor to both.
Mm-hmm.
It, amazingly so. We it was kind of like hardly a bump in the road, or hardly a bump in. I mean, obviously, people now were at home versus office, and we had most of the people were in offices, so we did not have a huge work at home employee base before that. But we were able to move. We were very used to using Zoom, and so it really, we've always had teams in different regional areas with offices, but we've always had sort of a cross office or cross region work style. And so I would say we did not really have much of a disruption of people having to be at home. And I would say our security budget, I don't think we had anything significantly change as a result of it, surprisingly so.
Yeah, that's good to hear. A lot of folks kind of had to rush and pour a lot of money into that space because they hadn't really secured the perimeter quite as well, right?
Yeah, it didn't feel like we did. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, good. So you mentioned Zoom was one of the collaboration tools you were using. That still remains, quite popular among a lot of our respondents.
Yeah, that one is very embedded in how we work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zoom. Okay. We were probably one of Zoom's earlier customers. So.
Oh yeah.
So we had a head start there. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good to hear. So you're still with Zoom? Are you increasing spend there, or just maintaining?
I would guess we are maintaining or increasing. I mean, our increase would probably be as our company grows, and we're a growing company. So.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, but we are big on Zoom.
Yeah, great. And we see a lot of Microsoft Teams, and it's rolled out as part of the O365 kind of hug that Microsoft rolls out. So lots of growth here as well. And some of these other products that have jumped on our radar here. So DocuSign, using it, of course, to it's not a communication tool, but to manage signatures and documents and so on.
Use that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and Adobe Sign is sort of a rival to that.
Okay.
And then Slack, I think, being the other sort of major player in some of these communication and collaboration space. Now a Salesforce product, of course.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with Slack, or
getting experience? I mean, we're just rolling it out across the company this quarter, and sort of Slack landed in my team over to my team this week. So I can't say we're using it yet, but in a week we probably will be. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of this is something our company doesn't usually do, is buy things like this and roll them out, but it is something we're doing. I would guess the pandemic did influence this part of it.
And this is an organization-wide push? Okay.
Yes.
That's brand new to your organization. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you anticipate any sort of friction with that, on the people and process side, or security or tech?
Yeah, I think actually I think we're underestimating the change here. Mm-hmm. I think the changes will be good, but I think it would be better if we took the rollout, was a little more formal, and we provided better education on what we could get out of Slack. I think probably in a year we'll be fine. I think it's going to be like, how can we use it and really benefit? Otherwise, we've been using Google's chat service, and that has worked generally fine, although some teams didn't like it as much. So that, there were teams that pushed for Slack, and we had enough. That's when Slack got adopted. But if we're using Slack just like Google messaging, then I think then you'd have to argue, why did we actually change? So if we can start integrating it with other products and other apps, then I think that's where we'll start to see the benefit. But I think it's going to take us to sort of just, at first get our teams productive in the way that they are now with Google Messaging, and then start to integrate it with other apps and get the real benefits of it. But I think we're probably at least probably close to a year from really realizing all the benefits of Slack. But it's kind of an exciting thing because we haven't done something like this before.
Yeah. So prior to this, for any sort of intra-office communication, you're using email, I'm sure, but then also Google Messenger for sort of ad hoc or web conferencing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And and then Zoom. Obviously, people are talking on Zoom all the time. We use Atlassian quite heavily for project in software defect tracking. We use Jira for that and Confluence. So those are
okay.
Yeah.
Jira and Confluence. Okay, great. So Atlassian, are you using Trello by chance within that for managing work? Okay.
No.
Yeah, another popular tool that comes out of the Atlassian stack that we hear quite a bit about.
Okay.
So great. So that's sort of your productivity app, suite of apps, but you have a number of them floating around. Do you anticipate, the Google ecosystem being diminished or going away if you fully embrace Slack and Zoom, or do you think it'll stick around?
Not in the next 12 months, but
Sure.
I think it may get diminished a teeny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we change, and we're headed towards it, if we change how we're doing messaging, that would be one pretty significant change, and and then we'll see where it goes from there. But I don't think anything will change in at least the next 12 months. But I think the door's opening for a potential change down the road, but we'll see.
Yeah. You mentioned Jira. So you're using this in your DevOps type of work? Is that
the whole engineering team uses Jira religiously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jira, any other tools that make an appearance in your DevOps workflows?
GitLab is pretty core.
GitLab, yeah.
Or source code management, and those are probably the two biggest that come to mind.
Okay, great.
But Atlassian, Jira is a big deal. That is,
yeah.
Anybody who works directly with the product has Jira. All day.
All day, every day. This is just IT people, right? Yeah.
Yes.